Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Questions with, I think, a special one this week because we have a CEO who has made the journey from being a communications professional. So a big welcome to Craig Jones at the Royal Osteoporosis Society. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, James, for inviting me. Really good to be with you.
Pleasure. Well, look, we'll get straight into it. We're going to ask three questions. So the first one is that dreaded question that comms people get asked all the time, and probably even as a CEO you get asked every now and again. Wait, what do you actually do?
But I do get asked that question because we're still trying to raise public awareness of osteoporosis. So I'm chief executive of the Royal Osteoporosis Society. We're the main charity for people with the condition. It's a condition that affects half of women over 50 and a fifth of men as well.
And obviously you came to this world through communications. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
Well, I spent a long time in communications roles in regulators and charities and public bodies. I really enjoyed all of them. I see it more as advocacy, actually, and getting across messages that are either important for the public to know or for organizations to do their job properly in public life. And in some ways, that was a great training ground to do the chief executive role I have now, because our main job is to influence at the highest levels of the NHS for people with a condition and to raise public awareness as well.
So going back over your career, if you were to have a conversation with a more junior version of yourself, is there a salient piece of advice you'd want to offer yourself?
Yeah, there is. And that is that people used to say to me that comms people, communications professionals, don't go on to chief executive roles. And I listened to that. People said it a lot. And the reason for it is that the thinking at the time was that you're a messenger almost, or you're a mouthpiece. And I completely disagree with that. And I hope that I can be living proof that that's wrong, and that actually there are some general management roles, chief executive roles, where you can do all the other leadership skills that you need to be successful, but actually advocacy and communications is right at the heart of it. So if you find the right organization, it is a massive strength and it's not a weakness.
I think it's one of the things I'm always looking out for when we're hiring, when working with a CEO. It's, does this person get this function and value it? So I suppose no one appreciates it more than someone who's been in your position.
Yeah, definitely. We're a small charity. We've got about 75 staff and 3.5 million people have got the condition. So we've got the biggest mismatch between the number of people we've got to serve them and the number of people who need to be served. So we know that we're never going to service deliver our way out of that problem. The best way that we can change the world for the people who need us is to push the condition to the top of the public health agenda, to influence effectively, to campaign, and to raise public awareness so people know what they need to worry about and how to get ahead of it.
And that's a staggering number, isn't it? 3.5 million people in this country is hugely significant. I mean, it affects someone all of us know from that point of view.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, 2/3 of them are missing treatment. And that's not true for most conditions. People know they've got certain health conditions. Whereas for this one, because there's been a perception that this is just about, people think it's just about getting older. It's what you might expect as you get older. They're completely wrong. It is a medical condition. There are great therapies available that can stop it from happening and give people back the lives and the futures that they deserve. But we need to get out there and raise public awareness. So my background has helped us do that.
Excellent. Out of interest, when they were hiring for the role, did they specifically want to go out for somebody with your profile, or were you the left field candidate, for want of a better phrase?
I was the left field candidate. Yeah, there were lots of sort of tried and tested charity sector, NHS type people who have done this role before, and they've made really valuable contributions in lots of different ways. But my chair took a bit of a chance on me that, maybe what we needed this time was somebody who could put the organization on the national stage. And I've tried to do my bit, but actually my team has been the people who've succeeded in doing that.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much for that. That was two fantastic answers. I mean, this is the one I'm always quite interesting, but if you weren't now CEO at Royal Osteoporosis and hadn't been in the world of communications before, what would you like to have been doing?
Well, I think I would be doing what I was doing before I did communications, which was being a lawyer. I was a barrister. I liked some aspects of it. I liked the preparing a case and looking at the evidence and stating that case at its highest. But you do it for individuals or you do it for the state. And I actually think that, at the heart of that is advocacy, and at the heart of communications is advocacy. But if you do it for charities, then you're doing it on behalf of communities of people, some of whom are communities who've never had their voice heard in the way that they should. So I'd rather speak for, groups of individuals than for clients. And so I'm kind of glad that things have worked out as they have. But I see charities as being another part of public life that sort of makes the ecosystem better in terms of decision making, and perhaps takes groups which have been a bit marginalized, like people with osteoporosis, and gets them access to the kind of debates they should actually be at the center of.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you made the move over to corporate affairs, and now you get to champion people who need it most in our society. So, well, thank you for that, and thank you for taking time to have a chat with us.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Cheers, Craig.